Growing up in a blue-collar town in Massachusetts, our next guest focused most of her stand-up around her transition to living in all places of Greenwich, Connecticut.
She was a favorite on Last Comic Standing and recently delivered the commencement address at the University of New Haven. Please welcome Treehouse comedian Jane Condon. It's great to have you here, Jane.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So
nice
Jane,
to see you.
Tell us how you got into comedy.
Well, I was the youngest of four, so I wanted attention. I'm a mom. I just want to get out of the house. And I started late. I'm a late bloomer. I started when I was 37.
Wow.
Yeah.
And tell us kind of about your story here. You grew up in Massachusetts, then you moved to Fairfield
and then
County.
I ended up in Greenwich. You know, this is a Cinderella story because going away where I come from, going away means jail. Going away in Greenwich means rehab. You know. Anyway, but it is a lovely town, and I'm lucky to be there. My husband got us in.
So,
Got you in.
So you made quite the transition, and then getting into comedy, of course, but you've been married. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with your husband.
Well, he doesn't celebrate Valentine's Day. I told you not to ask me that, but now I'm
And
telling
you
you.
did anyway,
Yeah.
right?
I know, but he cooks.
Oh, that's
like your
a plus.
brand. I know. That is a huge plus because I can't cook. In my house, salmonella is one of the 4 basic food groups. And when my kids came home from college, their mom, dorm food is fantastic.
They loved the dorm food.
So I'm very happy he cooks, and he's very cute. I married up in looks, and his initials are KGB, so he doesn't monogram a lot. Sometimes he gets things out of proportion. You know, he'll be there, Jane, you left the light on in the kitchen, which to me sounds like, Jane, there's a body in the kitchen.
Not a huge deal, you're right.
So you got to turn the lights off, and then, of course, with kids at home, what was it like raising some kids? Of course, Teresa being pregnant now. Do you have any advice for her?
Oh, yes. No, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I
We're
heard
excited.
you're having a boy. Good luck with that.
Good luck.
Yeah, I like to say I have 2 boys. Otherwise, everything's fine. You know.
Despite that minor detail.
Yeah. I always wanted to have girls, but I like boys now. I think I'm a good boy mom. They're kind of crazy, 0 to 10, and then you'll be happy you don't have a teenager.
So just get through that decade.
Yeah.
No problem,
Well,
right?
It's actually my first son was born in Tokyo, Japan.
Oh.
Yeah, I was there. And
It just so happens that Jane was there during her own birth.
my second son was made in Japan but born in Greenwich. We like to stress he's still a quality product.
So what's the whole Japan twist here? Why
My husband was working in Japan.
Okay, all right.
And I wrote a book about Japanese women. And then when I came back, I would lecture about Japan, and people would laugh. And I thought, oh, if you think this is funny, let me tell you about living in Greenwich, Connecticut. That's the foreign country, right? It was just so different.
But what is it like? I mean, explain that to us. We
well-
live in New Haven. We're
Yeah.
up this way. We're so far from Greenwich.
Well, I remember when I first moved there. I thought everybody would be a snob. But the people at the supermarket have been extremely nice to me. Like if I forget 2 of my pearls, they lend me some.
Oh, it's nice of them.
And I wanted to fit in, so I got the headband, I got the nightgown, lawn's flannel nightgown, you know. So, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I've adjusted, and basically my master plan now is to leave the town in a coffin with my pearls on, you know, so.
That's when you know you made it. When you're
That's
still
when you know I
wearing
made
pearls
it.
at the end of the day like that, and you were on Last Comic Standing, but
Yeah.
you have an interesting story about how you
Well,
got to the audition.
it was, the first 4 years I got turned down, so it's the value of, you know, just keep trying.
Persistent, right?
The first year, I waited from 8 a.m. till 3 in the afternoon, and I was halfway through my 2-minute audition, and they said next. The next year, one of the judges liked me, the other judge didn't. The third year, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was on the street outside Caroline's at 5 o'clock in the morning. They stopped the auditions at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I did not get seen.
Oh,
So,
that is a long day.
The
That's
next year, they didn't have
awful.
any auditions. So the 5th season, and they're like, I want to be on this show. I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Fortunately, my husband was out of town, and I was unsupervised. And a girlfriend called up and said, Jane, this was the afternoon before the auditions. She said, they're already lining up. So I drove in, you know, and I had my snacks because I like to take care of the other comedians. And I got in line at 7 o'clock the night before the auditions, and I was 56th in line.
Okay.
And we asked the club owner, Chris Mazzilli, a friend of mine, if he would give us numbers, which he did, and I slept overnight in my
did,
car.
and that's what did
Yeah.
it. But you got it in, and it worked out.
And don't feel sorry for me because it was a Lexus.
You're fine
No,
then.
it's like
You are from Greenwich.
it's camping Greenwich style. Yes,
Oh,
totally. But I remember I woke up in the morning and it was It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was freezing. And my little car said 22 degrees, and I thought, oh, but I don't want to get hat hair.
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah.
feeling? Like, this is a very important audition.
We're going
Right.
to try not to get hat hair right now, but we got to go to a quick break. Make sure that you check out Jane Comedy House. She's going to be at Treehouse Comedy Club this weekend.